it might sound a little bit absurd to people, like, okay, what does magnetism mean? What is that? But eventually, like, I used to think that you have to just grind and hustle and everything like so hard and try to make that happen. And well, can't blame, because a perfectionist background and everything, like everything had needed to be perfect, and I needed to be perfect in the eyes of others and stuff. But when it comes to this real magnetism, and love attraction, manifesting other topics, but like it can happen way easier. Like life can feel smoother, like everything start to happen a little bit like easier, like automatically, because when you're aligning with those things. And where I would start, and where I started.
Hello, my loves, and welcome to Create Your Life. My name is Simone Leah, and I am your host. And I am so excited to be here with you guys today because today I had the absolute pleasure of interviewing the amazing Eevi Maaria, who is the creator of the magnetic method. And we were talking all things becoming magnetic and creating a life and business you love. Now, it's actually a funny story because we both spent a lot of time in Montenegro, but we've never actually met. And it was actually a friend of mine who suggested I start following Eevi on social media because we do similar things and we have similar interests. And so I've just been watching her for, I don't know, 6 months or so, being a supporter and following her Instagram. And she's such a beautiful human. Everything she shares is so just uplifting and inspirational. And she's such a beautiful human. She's so magnetic. And so I thought I'll just reach out to her and see if she'd be interested in being a guest on the show. And she said yes. So the interview is absolutely amazing. We talked all things about becoming magnetic, including knowing who you are, knowing your actual values and what you want, and then how you can actually attract in and become magnetic to that life that you want once you know what it is you actually want. So it was an amazing interview today, guys. There is so much value in this, and you could take so many notes. You could take pages and pages of notes. So, yeah, I highly recommend you guys listen to this interview, write some things down, and watch it because it was amazing. And you will definitely take away some information that's going to shift the needle for you in some area of your life and help you to become your most magnetic self and able to live a life you truly love. Hello, my loves, and welcome to Create Your Life. My name is Simone Leah, and I am your host. And I am so excited to be here today because today I have the absolute pleasure of bringing you the phenomenal guest, Eevi Maaria, who is literally the creator of the magnetic method. And we are going to be talking all things becoming magnetic and creating a life and business you love. Now, why this is super cool is because Evie and I actually both have spent a lot of time in a little country called Montenegro, and we got connected through friends, but I don't even know if we've actually met. And I just was watching her content and I'm like, she's so magnetic, she's so awesome. And then she produced the magnetic method. So I'm so excited for you guys today to meet her. So, hey, Evie, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you, Simon. Like, I'm so happy to be here today. Like, honestly, I'm so excited for this because, yes, as you said, the connection is crazy, and the themes, what we both are sharing, like, they are so aligned with both of us. And that Montenegro history, that's especially something that that I like. We are connected because of Montenegro. But anyway, thank you for asking. So, uh, love
No,
that. Love that.
that's okay. I'm so happy to have you here. And like, I love that Montenegro holds such a special place for both of us. And I actually believe it's a really magnetic country. So I think the whole thing is just very fitting.
Yeah.
But I would love to start with the age old show question of what does creating a life you love mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I love that question, and I love this podcast name in general because Create Your Life, it has been all about creating your life ever since 2023 for me. But I would say that most important part or the core of that is like how life feels to you. Because eventually we are so conditioned to just achieve, just going forward like trains with the full speed without even paying attention to our surroundings, or like paying attention like would there be something else than this? Because for me, I mean, I never thought about it earlier, actually. Now later, yes, and I'm surprised how I didn't think about it earlier, because I used to just, this really original pattern, like, okay, you go through schools, then you graduate, then you will have a house and a husband and everything like that. And that's lovely. If that's someone's journey and aligns with someone, it's amazing, because that's something that I encourage people to do, to really find their own way. But when it comes to this creating your own life, it has really opened really interesting doors for me when I really started to figure out like if there could be something for me, what's my path, what's my journey, who am I? That's like really something. And well, Montenegro was obviously a hell of a kickstart for this journey when I first discovered that, and I felt that there is something so right for me, and this sense of belonging and everything. um, and ever since, after major inner work, mindset work, getting know the coaching, everything, I just feel like creating this freedom, and you have that freedom to choose. Because no matter your financial situation, no matter your like situation in general, for example, I have major background when it comes to depression and anxiety. So like you have daily option to choose differently, and that's in some sense like really really beautiful, because when you become conscious of those options to choose and really create your own path and life, um, it gives you so much over time, and you can actually agree with the fact eventually that life is quite miraculous if you are just willing to see it. So yeah, that kind of answer, I think, at this point.
I literally love that. Thank you for that answer. I seriously feel like we're like soul sisters. Um,
Yeah.
I was literally talking to someone just recently about values, and I was saying how for so many years, freedom was my highest value, and I really wanted to create a life of freedom. And then one day I just realized I've always had a life of freedom. I've always been able to choose whatever it is that I want to create every single day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that you literally just said that. Like, I think that's so important because so many people think, I'm not free. I have to do this job. No, you don't. Go and get another job. It'll take you less than 2 weeks. Or, it's not, you don't have to stay in a job you don't like for 20 years. Find another way. You're always free to choose a different option. So I literally love that you said that.
Yeah, because 100%. And especially that job, for example, because people who come to me, they are in a situation or job or somewhere that they just don't like. And because that's the conditioning part. And I can't blame them. I can't blame myself or anyone, because like that's the society which encourages us to think that way, that no, you can't leave, like you can't do these kind of things, it's risky as hell. Like, I mean, of course it is risky to leave something stable, and yeah, you have regular income or something like that, but most of the time your own brain keeps convincing you out of your big plans or dreams or something that they can't be possible, they can't be true to you, because like because this or that, and there is always evidence. But in the second when you learn to pay attention to that other side of things, like giving that possibility, that actually many people, they're like, yeah, I would love to be artist, I would like to be this or that, and eventually it's such a cliche, but you have just only one life. So why would you spend that there? Like, just, I don't know, what, like feeling bad about yourself, feeling bad about your life, waking up to some shift that you just hate to even go there. And you're just like, yeah, but at least I have regular income. Like, but is that the point of living, really? I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy because I remember being younger and thinking, I grew up with a background of singing, and I remember thinking, oh, I can't be a singer because, it's not a real job or whatever. And now I just look at it and I'm like, you can be anything you want to be. Like even look at Ed
Exactly,
Sheeran. I think
exactly.
he was found literally busking on the streets or something. Like, just be who you want to be. As you said, we only have one life. So, yeah, I love this and literally could have a whole show about just this topic. But let's jump into you're the founder and creator of the magnetic method. So let's talk about becoming magnetic and how you actually can create that life you love. How do you become magnetic?
Yeah, I mean, my pleasure. This is definitely a topic, well, that previous one, but this one especially that I could talk about forever, honestly. Um, well, of course, it might sound a little bit absurd to people, like, okay, what does magnetism mean? What is that? But eventually, like I used to think that you have to just grind and hustle and everything like so hard and try to make that happen. And well, can't blame because of perfectionist background and everything, like everything had needed to be perfect, and I needed to be perfect in the eyes of others and stuff. But when it comes to this real magnetism and the law of attraction, manifesting other topics, but like it can happen way easier. Like life can feel smoother, like everything start to happen a little bit like easier, like automatically, because when you're aligning with those things. And where I would start and where I started is obviously just figure out what it is, even what you want, like what it is exactly. Because I've seen this a lot that many people, they don't even know. They are just living their life and, well, is it that 9 to 5 or something like that? And they are just, I hate to say like this might be triggering word, but like existing. So they are not guiding their attention to things would what would actually matter to them. And you mentioned, for example, core values. Like it would be really optimal for everyone to live life according to their core values. But then, of course, you have to know what those core values are. And you can choose your environment, your circles, like everything to support those core values. And that's the core of well-being, in my opinion, because that's just how it goes. So I would figure out what it is that I want, because people are so focused on what they don't want. Like in everyday life, you resonate with this, but like something goes wrong or something like that, it's automatically like I don't want this, like or there is problems in a relationship or like whatever you name it. But actively like searching for it, what it could be for me, what I like to do. So that's definitely the start. Then maybe second thing would be to actually look for someone or something, organization, coaches, whatever it is, who has gone the journey, who is already there where you are going. Because I keep saying that the most sure or certain way to get there where you are going is to find someone who has already done it. So first of all, it shows your brain that this is pretty much possible. But secondly, like you would probably avoid loads of mistakes while building different kind of things and creating your life, actually, because it's not some overnight process. It requires work. It requires commitment to yourself and your own work with yourself to better, stronger version. So yeah, that's definitely the second thing. Then I would say third, um, well, actively, because like these I love to use this field example, and this is actually also when it comes to neuroscience and everything, because I have large background when it comes to psychology. So I like to use these examples to people to actually understand these themes better. So this magnetism isn't just something woo-woo magic stuff. It's actually science eventually. So So yeah, so more you do something, more automatic it gets. So basically, this field example, imagine empty field. You walk through once, you can't barely see where you walked or something like that. But if you walk that road like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, eventually there will be a road. And same thing happens in your brain when it's creating new pathways. And well, for example, when it comes to confidence, when it comes to self-worth, these really important ingredients when it comes to magnetism and this really, well, confidence, like healthy confidence, it's attractive. So basically, that's part of magnetism. Obviously, I have built my confidence from zero. So, so yeah, like over time, you start to notice you feel different, you see yourself different, and when you actually see yourself differently in a good light, for example, when it comes to, well, this whole perception or your own beliefs and beliefs about your own capability and possibilities, it starts to reflect that kind of energy. And well, then suddenly people start to appear in your life. They start to find you. They resonate with your energy. They're operating with the same frequency. So, so yeah, that kind of answer.
No, I love this. Thank you. This is so much information and so many good things that people can start to think about. And I also have noticed that people don't actually know their own values and they don't know what they want and they don't have that confidence. So I guess, like, I know for me, I know when I'm feeling magnetic and I know when I'm not feeling magnetic. And it is very much tied to confidence, but also there's like this there's confidence that can feel outward and there's a confidence that can feel magnetic. How, I don't know if you want to talk about your experience, but how would you even start to describe to people what that actually practically feels like? Because there's like this time when you're just like, I'm magnetic, but then one day it just clicks in and you're like, oh wow, I can literally feel that I'm magnetic. So are you able to speak into that, even that energy and that vibration a little bit?
Yeah, sure, sure, absolutely. Because, yeah, well, as said, I've developed my confidence from zero, self-worth from zero. I I didn't see myself beautiful. I felt like I'm doing constantly everything wrong, and all my attention to went all the problems and everything negative, and wonder why. Like, of course, there is a link between that and depression and anxiety and everything, but how it feels actually when you have bit by bit built yourself up and your confidence up and your self-worth perception, that magnetism up. Of course, as you said yourself, like I can also literally feel like when I'm not that magnetic or I am magnetic. So basically, I have bad days. I have days that I feel insecure. I have like, well, I mean, of course, it's life, but how would it feel? I mean, first of all, because you feel good about yourself, you like yourself in a good way, healthy self-love. So, well, it feels, first of all, amazing, especially a person who hasn't experienced that too much in their lives. So, so yeah, yeah. And when it comes to that pure magnetism related to it, I would say that's that automatic word that I would describe because like everything just flows. And well, I use this sentence like don't force it, let it go, let it flow. And that's how I have got the best results. That's how I have met the best people because they are just coming automatically, like almost like automatically in my life. And I'm just surprised, like, oh my God, like this person is amazing and so like me, like us, like this connection you said about that soul sister thing, and I'm still so surprised about that, like just suddenly, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. So so yeah, you can literally feel it that you are pulling people like towards you, and you're pulling those opportunities and new things, and you see more colors and yeah, if I should describe that inner world, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I think that there's if I was to describe it, I'd say there's that thing when you put on the mask of confidence and you walk into a room and you're projecting confidence, and that's when you're outward. But there's this quiet magnetic that comes from internal, I feel, when you're just so solid and confident and so much self love within yourself, and you're just in alignment with who you are and what you're here to do, that there's no mask. You're not putting on confidence, you're not trying to be confident. And it's because you're just so connected to yourself and in alignment with yourself, your mission, your life, and what you want, that you kind of just have this activation frequency that it's going out instead of you pushing it out. It's just naturally radiating from you naturally, and that's what's drawing in. So that's kind of how I would describe it. I don't know if that's
Y- Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree because like that radiation part, and also because like well, it feels like it like you are shining. Like for example, when it comes to those like confident situations when you can literally feel it and you feel so good and you're like oh, like not in an arrogant way, because that's, by the way, like really misunderstood part. Because confidence, it doesn't mean arrogance, because you are not pushing other people down, but you just feel so good, and so yeah, I would say that you literally shine, and you like radiate this kind of energy, and you're just like, oh, like, life is so nice, and well, in that kind of state, it's really easy, for example, when it comes to public speaking or when it comes to other things, to take that space and really enjoy it, enjoy that feeling, because it's creating even more that feeling, because you are just feeling good, and sun is shining, and you are just like, you have really nice outfit, you look like good in your opinion, and you just feel so good. So yeah, that radiating part's like really different, and of course different, important, and of course it's highly relevant when it comes to that magnetism, because when you're radiating that kind of energy, people are feeling that energy and they're connecting with that energy. So basically, yeah, these are super super interesting, these energy things in general, in my opinion.
yeah, me too. I love energy, all about it. Like I'm like, yeah, love it. So because this really does tie into what you were saying, like in the first kind of part where you're saying like understanding your values, understanding what you want. When you understand what you want and you want to go from knowing your values and knowing what you want to actually becoming magnetic, what are those things that you can do in the middle to build that confidence and that self-love and self-belief? What are some of the things you've done on your journey to build that within yourself so that now you can just tap into that magnetic energy?
Well, like literally, as said earlier, like starting small, like literally like tiny, tiny pieces every day, because cumulative effect, as said, how I guide my clients, for example, where to start, how I started. It was now like 2 years ago, like 2023, when I really hit my rock bottom, and it was crazy dark time at that time. But it started from gratitude. And I know this is a much spoken topic in general nowadays, and it's a good thing, because we are rarely grateful enough. Like I had everything at that time, but I just refused to see it. And it's all about guiding your attention actively. So as mentioned earlier, it starts to happen automatically. So that's how my attention works nowadays. So it spots good things instead of bad things nowadays automatically. But I used to start my every morning. I still do that usually every morning, but like, of course, there's some mornings that I don't, because whatever is the reason. But usually, um, literally listing things what you're grateful for. But what's the most crucial part when it comes to confidence, when it comes to that self-love and perception about yourself, I add there to my clients, and I really highlight that. So of course, grateful, like you are able to walk, you have two hands, maybe you have two legs, you are able to dance or do whatever. You have roof on top of your head, like really basics, like starting from really basics and actively every morning, because brain is super sensitive anyway when you wake up. But at least, three something that you like about yourself, like your outlook, like your personality. Because, yeah, as said, like it is pretty much the case that you are so blinded by all of that negative stuff and worrying and comparison game and everything. So your whole attention goes in the wrong place. But suddenly, over time, you start to find that actually I like this or that. For me, for example, I didn't like my face. Like I just didn't. And I'm like, oh my God. And I started from my eyes. Eyes is the part that I've always liked. So I repeated that like again and again and again. And then finding other things. Then another concrete thing related to like, in addition to that list, is also, well, when you see yourself in the mirror, pay attention. What's your inner dialogue? What are you saying to yourself? Self-talk is so damn important, because like if you are like always like, oh my God, like I look shit, of course that's the message you're sending your brain. But when you start to say like, actually you look damn good today, and I promise you, it feels so weird at first. It feels so fake, but it's supposed to. But you just keep continuing it, like every day. So again, that field example, it creates actual pathways over time, which is obviously connected to your emotions, your thoughts, which is going to like, or is connected to that energy that you are radiating, and also how you feel inside. And that's the core of confidence, I would say. And it is really that simple and tricky at the same time. But if you really give that possibility, as we discussed it earlier, like here as well, giving it the possibility that this could actually work. So
Yeah. I love that. And I also love a little bit earlier, you kind of said like sometimes you still have bad days. And that's something I think that we need, like, as the audience needs to understand that you're not going to go from 0 to 100% magnetic all the time. Life is full of contrast, there's highs and lows. And it's in that contrast that you can see the beauty of everything. So when you do start these processes with the mirror work, which I absolutely love, and gratitude every single day, which I also love, it's not like it's a you do it once and it fixes everything. You've got to actually train your brain, and it has to be a conscious choice to view the world in a different way. And that's a big thing. I think that, like, when a lot of people would say to me, they're like, why are you always happy all the time? And I'm like, well, let me tell you, at 17 years old, I sat down and was like, who do I want to be when I become an adult at 18? And I made
yeah,
the choice to have that outlook. And I think that that's such a big thing, is that people, they think that they just do this one healing process, or they just do this one habit once, but it's not, you've got to retrain your brain. So I love that. I know,
exactly.
yeah, and I know, like, yeah, with you, you've obviously mentioned going to Mexico, and then obviously you're very magnetic now. What are some of the things that have happened since you have been able to shift into that frequency of being magnetic? Because obviously life before was one way and life after.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. First of all, I want to comment that what you just said there, because guys, I hate to break it to you, but yes, it's ongoing process. So it's not the case, because that's also something that many people misunderstand. And that's why I try to bring, especially on my social media, like a transparency that, yes, I have bad days. I have situations that I don't feel good about myself. I have like really tragic times in my life at times, but that's how it goes. And if you're just willing to acknowledge that and you're willing to go forward, so that's the most important part. And to keep continue working with yourself. You are never ready as a person. So definitely. And well, when it comes to that magnetism that I have nowadays, I also discovered actually quite recently, it was straight after my Manifested Mexico week. So yeah, it really hit hard. It was this retreat and a lot of inner work and a lot of healing and everything that I didn't even know that needs to be dealt with still, but there were really deep scars and everything, and it triggered something really interesting in me. uh, in addition, this negative cycle of love attraction, which was because like I started to be so exhausted and overwhelmed and everything. So I know now like pretty much how it works from both ways. So you can actually attract those problems and challenges and setbacks. And oh my God, my spring was crazy. And on top of that, like major burnout. But here we are like alive, and I can still tell that I love my life, and I'm happy for everything, grateful for everything. There is silver lining if you are just willing to see it. You have to um go through some stuff in order to become stronger and better, and you learn a lot in a process. but but yeah, now I feel like it is that ongoing work, like even if there is something small that I should pay attention to, like maybe I should write about this, maybe I should do that inner work with myself a little bit, talk with coach, because well, coaches have their own coaches, like psychologists have their own psychologists. So this active willingness to face certain things, so it obviously helps you to be in alignment and well, feel good in general. So which is again going back to that magnetism.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love it. I love it. And so, yeah, like what changes have happened in your life since you've become magnetic? Because I feel like a lot of stuff has shifted for you, even just in the last few months. You don't have to go into huge detail, but I'd love to hear how you manifested the trip to Mexico and if there's any practices you do for manifestation. Like, do you do like a journaling practice of what you actually want to manifest, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, changes, like of course, as you said yourself, like if I would go full detail, like I'm not completely but quite completely different person that I used to be a couple years ago. When I hit that rock bottom, I used to be so lost and not paying attention and think really differently, and really I wasn't this open-minded to things, to be honest. And I earlier, I definitely didn't believe in manifesting or anything, but yeah, I can tell like it works. It's crazy, and yes, there is scientific background, but at times it feels insane, like how this can be possible. But for people, I would recommend to start well, getting used to idea that this is actually a real thing, because well, it doesn't work if you are just like, yeah, I don't believe it, because it goes back actually how we started this episode. It goes back to that feeling part. So really starting to practice those feelings around that future manifestation. So I really got interested about this theme last year. I started to practice that again with small things. And I don't know, like I don't even remember. Many people, for example, start to practice it with the parking lot or something, like free parking spot or something. This is really typical. But for me, it was just something really random. And because all these angel numbers and everything, and I got super interested about them. And now I've been seeing them everywhere. And like usually, I don't know, for some reason, I saw them like all those bigger manifestations, like days, like all the time, everywhere where I watch. It's like a 2 2 2 2 1 1 1 1 1 3 3 3 3, or like 70 70, like whatever number you can come up with. Um, but it is actually like telling your brain, because you are doing that to yourself, that okay, something big is coming, like now this is working, like so basically you're brainwashing yourself to believing that, because like that belief and the feeling that okay, this is happening and this is true, not later at some point, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. For example, that Mexico thing, I felt like um for some reason, like no matter how many people told me, like yeah, maybe it's not going to happen, I saw that oh my god, I must be there. Like it was just instantly that I must be there, but I don't know how or like how it's possible because well, I was moving back to Montenegro at that time. There was a lot of going on in my life, but I had that feeling. And there is a really longer version of the all of this on my Instagram actually, because there's that genuine reaction when I was in the train when I won that spot there. But how it went, it was like, yeah, so getting familiar with the idea and feelings and everything. And I was having this visualization with my friend and everything, like think about it, like me and Mexico, like how would it feel and how would it look like? And really this power of human mind and planting those seeds in your head, because what happens then, it makes you take inspired action because again those pathways, your brain knows something that you don't, so it guides automatically your attention to possibilities that could actually take you towards that manifestation. So yeah, then I was on a train. It was just really random. I received email that they are going on live, and you know, there's more information about Mexico. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I should write my master thesis, but let's neglect that at this point because it felt right. Because that's the most important part, because you have planted those seeds, you have dwell in those emotions, like what it would be. So you resonate that feeling that this is something that I'm supposed to do right now. So then I jump on that live, hold that live, like now when I'm thinking about it, like it felt like that spot is mine because I'm going there. Like I don't know, but I wasn't like thinking like, okay, this is the situation where I'm going to get it or something like that. But the feeling was just so calm, so like it's already happened somehow. Then it happened, and it of course it was a shock, and I was like, oh my god, like I need to arrange this thing like ASP. But but yeah, eventually it felt something that it's supposed to go like that. Like you're watching a movie that you have once seen already. It is crazy, right? Like it feels insane. Do you have anything like this, like these kind of experiences? I would be super interested to hear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely have had experiences like that, and I love it. But like, yeah, it's fun because it's like everything that you've been manifesting just actually happens. And it's the way I describe it is it's not like you're outwardly trying to attract it. It's like a level of almost certainty that it's already here.
Yeah,
And that's why I love it.
100%.
And that's why I was like, oh, the audience would love to hear your experience. And like, because when you were doing that with Mexico, were you doing any processes like every day? Like, were you tapping into that feeling every day, or did you just tap into it once and let it go? Or how did you go about how would you recommend people go about manifesting?
I mean, how I see it, there is of course like different perspectives on this topic, but well, energy things, because if you are obsessively thinking about something every day, it starts to become some kind of um, desire or need or something that you're desperately obsessively thinking. So it's not how it goes, like it's not beneficial way, so most likely it's going to push it even further. But how it happened with Mexico, it was like really, now when I'm thinking about it, pure manifestation, because well, you are really feeling those emotions like it's already happened. It's you already have that. You don't need that. You are not like oh my god, like I need to be there. Like I mean, of course I wanted to be there, but it was more about knowing that I will be there. So it's as you said, like it's certain thing. It's there. Like so there is no need to stress about it and everything. So it was like those couple of times I talk about it a lot with my friends and family and everything, that I have somehow this feeling that I should be there. And my best friend also told me like, Evi, come on, what happened 2023, like your first red carpet and everything, like and I was hesitating and thinking like, should I go or no? Like, come on, bro, if I would have gone. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of talking as well, but then eventually just letting go. And I didn't consciously let it go. I just didn't think about it because there was so much going on, as said. So I needed to figure other stuff out. And yeah, then that opportunity came and it felt right. I jumped on that live. So that's how I would see it and guide audience as well. So try your best to get yourself in the state that you are calm, like it's already happened. And when you are on that state, like just trust the process, have faith, like it's going to happen. But there is no need to, like, for example, there is this really good like speaker Neville Goddard who talks a lot about these themes. So basically, how he says about that there it's pointless that if you are planting something like actual plants, and then you are digging every now and then, that seed away and checking if it's growing. Like that's not the that's not the thing, and it really stick with me. So of course, it's still a matter of practicing for me and everything. Like not succeeded to manifest millions yet, but like it's coming there. So yeah, what do you think about that?
I love this. I think it's great. And just for the audience so that they know as well, the reason why I wanted Evie on the show is because she's very much like me in that she lives a very free life. Sometimes she lives in Finland, sometimes she lives in Montenegro, she travels a lot. So she has actually manifested this life where she gets to create what she wants. So, yeah, I love this. And I love what you said about the detachment and not always looking at the seed, because I think
Yeah.
that where you said about like if you consciously think about it all the time, you're repelling, you're repelling, you're repelling. And so I love that you brought that up as well. I think that's really, really awesome. Because yeah, totally agree. And you can't just keep obsessing over it. Like as you said, the word obsessing is like you just can't keep obsessing over it. So, like, obviously, if someone did want to start creating a life that they really love and becoming magnetic to their desires, what are three things you would recommend that they do to kind of aid in that process?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really a good wrap up in that sense because what we or what I told from the start is like literally, what do you want, including like figuring out your core values and gaining more understanding about you as a person because we are all different. Our brain works differently. It has been major discovery when I have got to know this familiar with my own brain functioning, like literally that I have plenty of ADHD characteristics and also perfectionism, which are like contradict like constantly in my head, and it makes so much sense and gives you so much relief. For example, related to those anxious or depressive thoughts, feelings, because you can explain to yourself like this is actually quite understandable why I'm feeling like this. So really self-awareness and yeah, self-awareness about your life and your values, your own unique characteristics, and who are you. So that's one. And then I said like looking for ways, being solution focused actively, of course, in everyday life, because bit by bit you are creating your life every day. But most of the people, they are not even conscious about that, like, and you are manifesting, people are manifesting every day some kind of reality to themselves. And I know it's like some people might be like, oh, like that manifesting word there, but trust me, it is true, because where attention goes, energy flows. And if you are paying attention only to obstacles, negativity, and something, that's your life. And you are actually uh, able to be in control of that. So looking for someone who has gone the journey or is already there where you would like to be. And there's loads of information online. Like being this active, like learner, be willing to discover, learn, and open curiosity. giving possibilities, like practicing, educating yourself, taking things seriously that, okay, maybe, for example, this that I'm listing these things intentionally every morning, gratitude, something nice about me, something what I love in life. Love is so important. So like giving chance, finding your ways to actually approach that kind of life that you are creating and you want to create. Yeah, and I covered a little bit that third one inside of that second one. But yes, literally daily habits, because, well, small actions every day related to that direction where you are going, like those habits, like those actions create habits, and those habits create your lifestyle eventually. And well, as said at the start of this, as simple as that, as hard as that, but eventually, yeah, anything is possible if you are just willing to give yourself permission to believe in that and see that, because that's the core shift that happened in my life earlier, that anything is possible for me. And that shift only has led me to many, many places and opportunities and situations that I could have ever imagined being part of my life. For example, like, yes, those red carpet events and being featured in magazines or something like that, like, who would have known? Not me, at least.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, it's it's all about how you see it, and because then you are not subconsciously blocking those opportunities because you don't see where you don't pay attention. If you refuse pay attention, like, no, this can't happen. So yeah,
I really
literally.
feel that we need to go back to one very important thing you just said, audience. Write this down. She literally just naturally said, anything is possible for me. If you stand in front of your mirror and say, anything is possible for me 3 times a day, that's going to shift your whole world. Because when I was watching you saying that, then I just was like, wow, that's literally what you believe. It's so natural. It's literally like you just said, I breathe air every day. That's
I
how
love that.
naturally. And I'm like,
But
wow, that's key.
yeah, and thank you for pointing that out, because this is really something that I would give to audience as well. Like, if you should remember one thing about this really magical magnetic talk over here, it would be that. And it's not like something nonsense, or it's so powerful, and that's why we have affirmations, everything. But starting from there, like starting to implement that as a part of your life, like, this is possible. What if it works out even better than you only imagined? That's the key shift that you need. Like, that's where to start. And yeah,
I
be be brave, be open for new, because then you start to receive new because you are ready to receive it.
I love that. That's so, yeah, be brave, be open, all of this, guys. You should be writing so many notes.
Yeah,
um,
it's like full notebook of it. This is like such a lecture, but like, honestly, it has been so lovely to talk about these things with you, because yeah,
yeah, because it's such
oh,
good information. It's stuff that everybody needs to know. Like this stuff, if everybody just realized that they could have anything they desired and were just brave enough to follow the breadcrumbs, their whole life would transform. So, yeah.
yeah.
Did you happen to have a recommended resource? I think we were talking about books earlier that you would recommend for people who were wanting to take more of this path.
Yeah, 100%. I would say, like, honestly, literally, for example, that Neville Goddard, now when it's mentioned, people who are interested about manifesting and everything, like, really, really, really inspirational. You can find loads of free material online, for example, YouTube, Spotify, you can find. Then also, like, this audiobook. that I used to listen quite a lot last year, actually. Like every now and then I've listened to that plenty of times, is Power. So Rhonda Byrne books, like many of you know, might know Secret Books series or something, but that Power especially, because, well, my my coaching and my life in general is pretty much about self-empowerment and about you and your uniqueness and your unique standpoints and how to build these things and live aligned and happy and you know that kind of life and be powerful, because that's also part of that confidence feeling and like magnetic feeling, like you feel powerful. And that's something, if I just can give to someone this feeling powerful about yourself, like that would be it. And that's why I highly recommend to listen that. It's really good in many ways, like of course a little bit manifesting stuff there as well, because it's highly connected to these topics. But yeah.
I love it. And where can people find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on social media, pretty much all social media you could possibly imagine. It's Eevi Maaria. So feel free, follow me. There is a load free stuff that I'm sharing like every week. Not, I mean, pretty much every day, because I am really active on stories, especially because Instagram is my main platform. I love to do that. It's also self-expression and creative stuff for me. And I found really my passion, like it's kind of this hobby, but at the same time, of course, sharing my message and value out there. So yeah, if I should pick something, like go there, Instagram, Eevi Maaria, and yeah, hit the follow, like let me know, like contact me. I'm always open for chat. My DMs are always open. If there is something that you want to talk about, if you resonated, if there's something that you don't know how to start, like you have this vision or maybe, but you don't feel confident enough or something like that, you don't actually know how to build these things. For example, when it comes to online business, like freedom-based online business that I have, I'm able, and you are able as well, Simone, to work wherever you want. I have locational freedom, which is obviously supporting my core value, freedom, as yours a lot. So like a lot of mindset stuff, obviously, but also strategy. You have to know how these things are built. But I want to show people that it is possible, and this is my way. This is what my life looks like, the life that I've created myself. So for someone else, it might be something completely different.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you. I will link your details below. Everybody go and watch Evie because, yeah, her content is amazing and she just gives so much value. And you just can't not be friends with her on Instagram and not feel inspired. So, yeah, she's a great person to follow. And thank you so much for being here today. It's been literally a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you honestly so much for this opportunity. And I swear to you, we could continue this episode like 3 hours. But yeah, definitely like let's stay in touch. I really oh, this was such a such a lovely conversation. So thank you that I was able to come here and share all of this stuff, because yes, I can tell that powerful episode. Many people are hopefully getting so much out of this, and yeah, it's just the start for something even bigger. So believing in yourself, guys, like you will get there. Like it's not the easiest road, but I promise you, you won't regret it. Like trust me.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.